Hello, everybody. I'm Tyler Sampson.
And I'm Christian Clark.
We were with Ludosonics, and this is our gaming fanfare. Today's episode is going to be covering some of my favorite games from my childhood. I'm pretty sure the same goes for you.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to be talking about the first two generations of the Pokemon franchise, Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow, and Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal.
Yes. So, how about you talk about a little bit first about why you love these games and sort of the nostalgia it gives you?
Yeah. This was the... Pokemon Red was my 9th birthday gift. And it was the translucent purple Game Boy Color with Pokemon Red that you would get from Costco. I think that's where they actually got it. And it came with the whole pack with like the light, the little curly Q light that would hang
beautiful,
over.
yes.
Yeah.
No backlight yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I fell in love with these games. Weirdly enough, around that same time, I tried playing Final Fantasy X. It was the first RPG I ever played, and I hated it. I couldn't understand the idea of a turn-based RPG. It made no sense to me. Yeah. I got Pokemon. I fell right into that shit. And weirdly enough, I didn't see a connection there.
Yeah.
You know, it was like...
I didn't make that connection until later either.
Yeah.
So,
I was just... Eventually, I was just looking at Final Fantasy. I'm like, it's Pokemon. it's attack. It's all the features of the battle system of Pokemon, but with humanoids. And it was weird that I never made that connection. But anyway, Pokemon Red and Blue. Specifically, I started with Red, and then I went and got Blue, and then eventually I got Yellow because I love those games so much. I had to have every version. Yeah, I just love those games so much. As a kid, I played them for hours on end with all my friends, trading, battling, all that stuff. It was a great game with an amazing soundtrack as well. And I think that's really what solidified it in my mind, because even just going back and listening to these songs for this episode, I was hit with such nostalgic-gasms.
Boy, that's a word.
Yes, it is. I love it.
Yeah, so for me, I remember one Christmas morning. Oh, it was beautiful because I got Pokemon Blue and my sister got Pokemon Red. So then my parents said, all right, now we're going to go travel to Disney World. And so instantly we were all like, holy shit, this is so exciting. So basically the entire drive down there, because we didn't fly, we just drove, my sister and I basically grinded
How long of a drive
through.
was it?
It can take like 15 hours.
You
start in the morning, you just get down to Orlando. Piece of cake. We pretty much just drove everyder. Maybe not that long. I'd have to Google it. I'm not sure.
I think the longest drive I've ever been on was like a 6-hour drive.
To get to like the Bay? Yeah,
No, it was like either some part in Arizona or Mexico.
Right, yeah. So my sister and I were grinding through these games on our way to Disney. And I remember when we stopped for lunch, my sister was like, so where are you now? And I was like, I just beat the 4th gym. She was like, what the fuck? It's like, I've only gotten to Misty.
And then your parents collectively beat her for swearing.
No.
Oh, okay.
No beating. No, we cuss a lot in our family.
Okay.
No, that was just a normal thing.
Even when you were so young?
Yeah, no, they don't care.
Okay.
They don't care at all. And it was kind of nice. I started cussing in front of them when I was like 7.
Wow.
Yeah,
Jesus.
No, I super lenient parents on my end. But yeah, so
they're just like, just don't say it to your teacher.
Yeah, pretty much. That was it. It was like, you know who you can say it to and who you cannot say it to. Always have that in your mind. But yeah, so playing through these games, I just like, I just kept going. It's like, God, I got addicted. Now, of course, my sister and I had completely different playing styles. She's got some sort of like OCD, so she's like catching all of the Pokemon, every single one. And I'm like, I have an overpowered as shit Blastoise that can kill everything. So I'm just going to plow through the game and it's going to be great. So that was the sort of thing. And God,
that's probably my only problem with these games is that if you have a challenge ahead of you that you're having a hard trouble beating, all you need to do is just grind for 15 minutes and then you will just decimate everything in your trail.
Right.
The game kind of leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to strategy. They tried to give you those things with like string shot and poison needle and all these status debuff attacks that really in the end don't make a lick of difference.
Right.
And I think that would have been solved if they had parties of like three against
like,
multiples, like they did in later generations.
Like when you'll have a Pokemon with a faster attack than you shooting like sand your way, and then you missed your next turn, but they used that as their turn, so nothing fucking happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah. The only thing I could think of where like it would actually be beneficial to you is if you had attack that increase your speed, so that you would be able to attack first the next turn.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, like other than that, I mean, what's the first attack to go when you get a flamethrower attack? Your tail whip.
Yeah.
That's the first one to go.
Yeah.
You gotta get rid of a tackle or tail whip. Fuck tail whip. I'm out. Yep. So I mean, that's the only major fault of these games, in my opinion, is just the battle system was overly simplified to the point where it was just mash A to win.
Right. And then there's that concept where they could only know 4 moves at one time.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, when you think about, like, if you think about it
It's
logistically.
just like, you are going to become dumb in that way, but you're going to become brilliant in this way.
Tackle. I
forgot.
forgot.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Tackle?
What's a
But
I'm sorry,
either
all
way,
I can do is splash.
Yeah, even with all those things, Pokemon is a cultural phenomenon. We have Pokemon Go now, which is just skyrocketing. They're just finally adding 4th generation Pokemon, I heard.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like they just recently had the Pokemon Go Fest. Did you hear about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I heard about it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't realize they went balls out on this thing.
Oh yeah.
Like they built like their own vault. They went, okay, here's a forest area, and they built like a forest area, and then they had one that was for fire creatures where they had a giant paper mache volcano or something like that with like fake lava and everything.
Oh yeah.
And they went all out, man. I was like, that's crazy. I wish I'd win.
Yeah, I know. So
I wish I played so that I went.
So for me personally, I know Generation 2 is my favorite generation. I just think everything about those games was like they heard the criticisms from Red and Blue, and it was like perfection.
For me, Generation 2 in my brain knows it's the best generation, but in my heart, Gen 1 is my favorite.
Yeah.
Just because it holds such a special place there. The music is the one I remember the most from Generation 1, just even listening back to the 1 and 2's music. Everything from 1, I was like, oh, and everything from 2, I was like, oh, wow, I don't remember this.
Yeah.
And so I'll slide to 2 because I played a lot of that. I played all through Gold and Silver, and I played them multiple times, and I have a lot of great memories from those games. But there's something about the Gen 1 that just really just grabbed itself into my heart. But yeah, so that I know that one is entirely biased because I know for a fact that Gen 2 is better because it essentially is Gen 1 plus more.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
My only problem with it is
the
that
game.
they fucked with the process of Gen 1. They made you go backwards around the map. You started with I
forgot about that.
Yeah, you started in like the bottom right of the map, and then you worked your way up through Cerulean City and back to Pewter. And
they tried to give you that
and they
new story.
They cut the map down a little bit too.
Yeah.
Like the Kanto region in the second game is like, I think about 3/4 the size of the original one.
Yeah, that's just still pretty good.
And there was stuff that you couldn't do, but I was just like,
considering
it's still pretty dope.
But to me, it established, oh my God, every single Pokemon game is going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But that's not the case. Yeah. Maybe with Switch, because I'm
excited.
I'm still sitting here thinking to myself, when the fuck are we going to get the Pokemon Universe game? We have all these regions. Yeah. It's got to happen at some point.
I know. And if there's going to be a time to do it, it would be on the system with the power switch.
They finally nailed it. And we could get more of the 3D sort of stylings going on.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, I'm also excited to see maybe if like a multiplayer version that doesn't necessarily need to be an MMO, right?
Right.
But it can be
people in the same world walking around you.
Yeah, and you can battle them, and you can use more than one Pokemon at a time and somewhat more of an ATV.
Battle them. Maybe you can go co-op.
I would love if they kind of adopted, not adopted. I'm thinking of, adopted. I was gonna say, procreated, not procreated.
You get some Dittos together. You just start going at it.
Appropriated. That's the one I was looking for. Appropriated, not procreated.
Nice.
As a knee slapper. Anyway, appropriated the ATV battle system from Final Fantasy, where they would have different like times that.
Oh yeah, baby.
And maybe you could use like certain
from 10,
powers.
Right?
Yeah, well, no, I was thinking more from like Final Fantasy 6, something where it would actually actively go up, and you can use attacks or whatever that would actively change your speed in like a haste type thing, or your stats would affect how fast it goes, so that it would give it more of a dynamic feel than just my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. Because I mean, like as far as a multiplayer kind of universal world like that, I think it would work better if you had that type of like ATB system.
Sure.
There's a lot of things they could do with this, with a game, trying to bring it into a modern age, and I just hope they do eventually, because as much as I love the games, over the last 10 years, they've started to get a little stale.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do with the Switch version. Although I know the Switch version is going to be, what was the most recent one?
Most recent?
Sun and Moon.
Yeah, Sun and Moon.
I haven't played it, so I don't really know how they changed it.
I also have not played Sun and Moon.
I know they have changed up the formula.
I watched someone
Sun
play
and Moon.
it. Looked real nice.
Yeah. I know
the story looked fantastic.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. That's one of the big things I heard they changed up, is they actually gave it like a legit story, and they got rid of like gym battles and stuff like that. They replaced it with something similar.
Yeah,
it was just like taking on the leader of the island or something like that.
Yeah, just giving a little. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So So
and I really love the variants of Pokemon in that. Like you get the
like the Executor with the long neck and stuff. Yeah,
that's such a brilliant idea.
Because
I love that.
One, it brings in Darwinian theory into it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's the idea of that evolving, that these characters, these Pokemon actually physically alter over generations based on the environment they live in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's the Galapagos theory.
Love it.
So I really like that too. But
now we gotta jump into the music.
Yeah, because we got a lot.
We got maybe like 20 tracks. Now again, most of these tracks are under a minute.
Yeah, they're just little jaunty tunes. That
beautiful sound bites. So we're starting right off the bat with Route 1. So the way we're going to go about this sort of analysis today is we have like groups. So we have like the route music, and we have like the location music.
Yeah, or the fun jauntier stuff. That's kind of nice. And we have battle themes and victory themes, and then we have
what the fuck
weird themes. And then we're going to actually there's one song that we're going to skip in here. We need to find it eventually, but ending theme, because it's kind of whatever.
Yeah. I think that's literally the last one. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah,
we will find it.
Yeah, but when we get there, we'll just cancel that. But yeah, so the last part is going to be all the weird themes, like that are just
Mount
Moon, Viridian City, just the ones that are atonal, that are
Lavender Town.
Yeah.
The sort of music that causes young Japanese boys to commit suicide, supposedly.
Yeah. Allegedly,
yeah.
Yes.
So
the one that's not alleged though was the Porygon episode causing seizures. That one was legit.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah,
that definitely makes sense. So we're gonna start right off the bat with just Route 1.
Yeah,
and kind of just talk about all the elements that the Route music shares.
Now this one, I swear to God, when I first heard it recently, when I listened to Smooth McGroove play it, I was like, oh yeah, this is like Mary Had a Little Lamb. Like I didn't like, it was like one of those classic songs that grew just over generations and generations, not remembering that, oh yeah, this is from a Pokemon game in the 90s.
Yeah, I know. So
it's just got that melody that's just so goddamn catchy.
Yeah, and that's it right there. That's that little thing. It's literally just 30 seconds long. Yeah. I mean, not even. And so this is the folk music that our generation listens to. This is when I'm singing to my kids in the future. I'll be singing them the song of Route 1. I really think so. Mm-hmm. So this is actually slightly different than the rest of the route music, because a lot of the other route music is very, very March-esque.
Yeah.
And it's all about driving you forward.
Yeah. But this one is really good, because this is the beginning of the game. This is the beginning of your adventure. You are a child. Yeah. I mean, like, you're a child.
It doesn't want to be too intense just yet.
Yeah, exactly. But it's more like optimistic, and yet kind of more like the experiencing the new world. Mm-hmm. And as it goes on and the game goes on, you kind of mature as a Pokemon trainer, and the music starts to reflect that. But you're still an innocent boy at the beginning, and
this reminds me of, the website Dorkly.
Yeah.
They have a thing that says, mundane jobs in the Pokemon universe. And so they have little things like air traffic controller, and they're like, just keep going. No, where'd those Pidgeys come from? Ah! But my favorite one from that is when Child Protective Services shows up, and they keep knocking on doors and saying, you have let your 10-year-old son go and fight Pokemon throughout the entire world without any adult supervision. You're coming with me because you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Why? And then he's just like, why are there so many shitty parents in this world?
Well, okay, there was an ad for a Pokemon game or something that had a little thing at the bottom on one of the photos where it says, or it was like an official Nintendo strategy guide or something that said, fighting your animals in real life is a crime and will get you put in prison.
I know.
Because it is a really weird
concept
when you think about it. You're like, wait a minute, you're making your pets fight each other. That's really fucked
literal
up.
cockfighting.
What are you? What is the guy's name? Vic?
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick.
Of the
yeah.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Yes, from my old city. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait, he's from the which team?
Eagles. The Eagles.
Oh, I did not know
Philly,
that. I'm a recent Eagles fan, so I did not.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Fuck
Well,
yeah.
my brother-in-law is a huge Eagles fan, so I kind of vicariously became one.
Well, you see, that's a town that, like, if they won or lose,
I joined at the right time, though. I joined last year, so I joined at the right time.
Oh, yeah, so you didn't even know yet.
No.
That's badass.
Yeah, so I joined right in the right season.
But yeah, so this concept of Pokemon, it's so strange. But so now we're going to move to Route 4, which I think is one of the...
Yeah, so both of these
First
right
epic
now
ones?
are the...
So this one's... You can really see an escalation.
Yeah, these are all
So this
Pokemon Red and
one-
Blue right now.
Is very epic. And you hear that snare. Which was, of course, done with a noise wave.
Yeah.
So we took the amplitude of this noise wave and just cut it really down to basically create this sort of shape.
Yeah, basically get
And
rid of
then-
any sustained or decay. And just,
And it sounds like a snare.
yeah.
And that's beautiful. So that's how they did this a lot of times. So this is the first podcast we've done where to